Hello all. Today we are going to start with a new subject, electrical measurements and instruments. The code for this subject is EL303. This subject is mainly concerned about the measurements of various electrical parameters and the instruments or the measuring systems which are used to measure those parameters. Okay, so let us first see an example and understand what exactly measurement is. Here I have shown a weighing machine. Okay, with this weighing machine what we do is we keep an object at one side. This is the object, suppose, whose weight is to be measured, and then we keep on putting weights here until here we get a balance. Till there is an equilibrium here with both the plates, we keep on putting weights here, and once there is balance we take that measurement as the weight of this object. Suppose, say, the weight of this object is suppose 2 kgs. Okay, so here we will have to put a weight which is of 2 kgs, and then we will get that weight as 2 kgs. So this object is the quantity to be measured, and this unit is the predefined standard or the predefined unit, okay, in kgs. For weight, in case of weight, it is kgs. So we can define measurement as it is the comparison between the quantity to be measured whose value is unknown and a predefined standard or a predefined unit. In this case, in this example of weighing machine, the quantity to be measured is some object here whose weight is to be measured. Okay, the quantity to be measured is the weight of this object, and the predefined unit is kgs. Okay, because the standard unit for measuring weight is kgs. Also, we can define measurement of this weight, or also we can define measurement as converting a physical parameter into a numerical value. That is, the physical parameter here is the weight. So this weight is converted into a numerical value. We never say that the object is very heavy or it is less heavy. We never say like that. We have a proper numerical value to define the weight of this object. Okay, so here we have got it as 2 kgs. 2 represents the quantity which is to be measured, or 2 represents the measured value, and kgs represent the predefined standard. So this is called as measurement. Let us take one more example of thermometer. Thermometer is used for measuring the temperature. This is how it looks like. Okay, so here the temperature measured is 36. So the quantity to be measured in this case is temperature. The numerical value which is converted is 36, and the predefined unit of temperature is degrees centigrade or Fahrenheit. Here we will take degrees centigrade. So here we will get it as 36 degrees centigrade. 36 because it has measured the value 36. So this is the example of temperature measurement. This is the example of weight measurement. This is the example of temperature measurement. Let us see one more example in which we will see an electrical circuit. Here we have taken a circuit in which there are 3 resistors connected in series, and there is a battery connected here. Okay, this is just a simple circuit taken, and let us assume that this is the current value which is to be measured in this circuit. So here the quantity to be measured is current. For measuring this current value, we have an instrument called as ammeter. Okay, so using this instrument, we have measured the value, and the current value comes out to be 2. And the predefined unit for current is ampere. So the current value here is 2 amperes. Okay, for measuring the electrical quantities, the instruments are electrical instruments. In this case, the instrument is ammeter. In the previous cases, the instruments were thermometer, and in the first case it was weighing scale or weighing machine. So this is what measurement is, and to have the measurement we have instruments which are called as measuring systems. So this is your first unit in this subject called Fundamentals and Principles of Measurements. In this we will learn about some basic concepts of measurement, the qualities that an instrument should have, the errors that take place in the measurements, and so on. In Unit 2, you will be having The instrument which is used to measure current, that is ammeter, and the instrument used to measure voltage, that is voltmeter. So we will have a detailed study of ammeter and voltmeter in unit 2. In unit 3, we will have wattmeter and energy meter, which are mainly used to measure the power. Then in unit 4, we have resistance measurement. There will be various methods and instruments used which will be studied in resistance measurement. In unit 5, we will have other instruments like frequency meter, which is used to measure frequency. We will have power factor meter, which is used to measure power factor, and so on. Many instruments will be studied in unit 5. So this is how your syllabus for this subject looks like. So let us now start with unit 1. We have already seen what exactly measurement is and what exactly measuring instrument is. The importance of measurement is that it will let us know the exact value, okay, the exact precise value of the quantity which is to be measured. What is the importance of this measuring quantity? It then helps us to compare between different parameters of the system. Okay, so basically measurement helps us to know the exact value of measurement, the exact reading of the quantity to be measured. Now, what are the requirements of a measuring system? First is accurately defined and commonly accepted standard. Okay, the standard which we have seen in 3 examples, there the standards were kg, then degree centigrade, and we had ampere. So there has to be a commonly accepted and accurately defined standard. Those are the accurately defined and commonly accepted standards. Second is the apparatus used and the method adopted has to be provable. Provable meaning whatever is the method and equipment used for measuring the value, it has to be correct. It has to give you a correct value. Okay. Next, let's see the classification. All the instruments are broadly classified into 2 categories: absolute instruments and secondary instruments. In case of absolute instruments, the reading or the value of the quantity measured is in terms of instrument constant, which means that for understanding this absolute instruments, let us take an example of galvanometer, a tangent galvanometer. Tangent galvanometer is an example of absolute instrument. In this, in the galvanometer, you get the value of current flowing in the circuit. To get that value of current flowing in the circuit, you need to first have the deflection produced by the current, the radius of the coil, the number of turns used in the coil, and after having all these values only, you will be able to find out, or you will be able to calculate the current in galvanometer. So all of this is included in absolute instruments. Whereas in secondary instruments, all these processes are not there. Secondary instruments will directly give you the value. Like how we have seen that picture of thermometer, it directly indicates the value of temperature. So in the secondary instruments, the value of the reading or the value which is to be measured is directly indicated on the instrument. Depending upon whether it is indicated on the instrument or whether it is recorded by the instrument, secondary instruments are further classified into 3 categories. First is indicating instruments. Indicating meaning the instrument will have a digital display like how it was there in the thermometer. Either that type of display or it will have analog display. Analog meaning analog scale will be there and there will be a pointer. So whatever is the reading of the parameter, it will point to that reading. You would have seen this type of instruments as ammeter, an analog ammeter, analog voltmeter. Okay, so those are called as indicating instruments, which can be digital or analog. Second type of secondary instruments is recording instruments. In this, what happens is the readings, various readings or a set of readings are recorded over a given period of time. These recording instruments have a ink pen inside them. So this pen will be attached to a graph sheet. So whatever are the records or whatever are the set of readings taken by the instrument, accordingly graph will be given. So that is how recording instruments will be working. Integrating instruments meaning in these type of instruments you will get the reading or the measurement of the value as product of time and the electrical quantity to be measured. An example of this integrating instruments is watt hour meter or ampere hour meter. Okay. Further, also the instruments are classified based on the accuracy and permissible limits of errors. Now what is this accuracy? Accuracy meaning how precise your instrument is. Precision meaning how correctly it can give you the reading. Okay, accuracy is how correctly it can give you the reading. And permissible limits of errors meaning, see, in practical life, no instrument will give the perfect reading. There will be always some or the other error involved in the reading. So there are some permissible limits of errors. So depending upon the accuracy and permissible limits of errors, the instruments are classified into 4 categories. First is standard instruments. The accuracy of standard instruments is very high. It is highest. It is 99.8%. So this much accurate will be the reading given by standard instruments. See, when I say reading means the value of the quantity to be measured. Okay. And permissible error here is just 0.2%. So these type of instruments are used for calibration. Now, what is this calibration? Calibration meaning, see, if you have a watch, okay, and this watch is showing you a time 12:15, but the actual time is suppose 12 o'clock. So your watch is 15 minutes ahead of the time. So what do? You see the actual time, the proper time somewhere on a proper working watch, and then you adjust your watch to that as per that correct time. So this is called as calibration. Any instrument which is not working fine or which is showing any lag or lead in the reading, lag or lead meaning the reading is either shifted to higher value or it is shifted down to lower value. So that is called as lag or lead. So if any instrument is not working properly and it is giving you a wrong reading, then a standard instrument is taken which is giving a reading which is very accurate, which is 99.8%, and then according to the reading of standard instrument, the non-working instrument is adjusted. The reading of the non-working instrument is adjusted. That is called as calibration. So those calibration are done by standard instruments. Next is substandard instruments. The accuracy and permissible limits of all these categories are given here. In the substandard instruments, these are used in military and satellite launching operations. Okay. First grade instruments, these are used for commercial meteor testing, and second grade instruments, these are used in panel meters. Now what are these panel meters? Panel meters meaning, see, you have big systems, okay, big processes are there, and the processes will have various parameters like air pressure, then there will be temperature, humidity, or the liquid flow, the level of the liquid flow. All of these parameters will be shown by that panel meters. There will be many meters placed on one panel. So those are called as panel meters, and there the panel meters can be of second grade instruments. So this is the classification of instruments based on accuracy and permissible limits of errors. Now let us see what are the qualities of an instrument. Qualities meaning what qualities an instrument should possess in order to give perfect reading. Perfect meaning it will have some or the other error, but still then what are the qualities an instrument should possess? First is sensitivity. Now what is sensitivity is, if there is any change taking place at the input side, the same change has to be taken place at the output side. So the sensitivity of an instrument has to be very high. Only when an instrument is highly sensitive, your output reading will be accurate. What is accuracy? Second is accuracy. Accuracy meaning how correct the reading is. That is called as accuracy. Precision meaning how correct the reading is, and as well as if the same reading is taken 10 times, then 10 times also you should get the same reading. The instrument should not change the reading under same conditions if it is taken 10 times. For example, if we take this example, okay, in which we are measuring the current in the circuit using this ammeter, okay, we have used this emitter 10 times, and 10 times suppose we have taken the reading, then all the 10 times the emitter should give you the same reading. That is called as precision. Okay. Next is reliability. Now what is reliability? The instrument you are using should be trustworthy. The readings that your instrument is showing you should be trustworthy. That is called as reliability. Next is drift. Drift meaning a shift from the actual reading. Okay, we will see in detail what this drift is in the next slide. Reproducibility. Reproducibility meaning if there is no drift in the instrument, it means that it is having good reproducibility. True value. Now what is true value? See, true value is the measurement of a parameter which is not having any error. It is the ideal measurement, which in practical case is not possible. Okay, but still that kind of reading or that kind of measurement is called as true value. The reading that we always get is the actual value. Okay, we never get a true value, we get actual value of measurement. So the difference between this true value and actual value of measurement is called as a static error. And the last quality is resolution. Resolution meaning if there is any changes taking place at the input side, those should be detected immediately by the instrument. That is called as resolution. So these are some of the qualities that an instrument should possess in order to give you proper accurate reading. Now in this slide, let us understand what exactly this drift is. Okay. Drift meaning a shift from the actual reading. There are three types of drifts that can take place in an instrument: zero drift, span or sensitivity drift, and zonal drift. Now here, let us first understand an example. I'll take an example of weighing scale. Okay, weighing scale is used to measure the body weight of a person. Okay, suppose you want to measure your body weight and your actual body weight is suppose 40 kgs. But if the instrument, if the weighing scale has got a zero drift error in it, if there is a zero drift in your instrument, then what it will do is it will show you some other reading. For example, your actual weight is 40 kgs, it will show you 45 kgs. Or if there any other person having 50 kgs, it will show, the instrument will show 55 kgs. If the actual body weight is 60 kgs, this will show 65 kgs. So here there is a 5 kg drift in the, or 5 kg shift in the actual reading of the measurement. Okay, so this dotted line shown here is the actual reading. This is called as nominal or normal characteristic, and the blue one you can see, this is with the instrument having zero drift. Okay, how this zero drift can be prevented? You just need to calibrate your instrument. That is, you need to set your instrument at zero reading. Then it will show you, if you are 40 kgs, if you are 40 kgs, it will show you 40 kgs. If you are 42 kgs, it will show you 42 kgs only. Okay. What is this graph is? This is the set of readings which are taken for a number of people. We have taken example of body weight. So suppose that you have 10 people who want to find out their body weight. So this is the graph of body weights of 10 people. And this is their shifted readings. So this is about zero drift. The second type of drift is span or sensitivity drift. In this what happens? Only the higher side of the readings will be shifted. The lower side of the readings will not be shifted much. Higher side of the readings will be shifted. This is the normal or actual value, and these are the shifted values. In third type of drift, this is the zonal drift. Okay, this is the ideal or this is the normal characteristic. This is the actual reading, and this is the shifted reading. Now in zonal drift what happens is, only over a specific zone of the instrument or only over a specific portion of the instrument, it will show you drift. Other portion of the instrument, it will show you proper reading. For example, if a person is having 40 kgs and there is a zonal drift in the portion between 40 to 45 kgs, then all the people having 40 to 45 kgs will find a shift in their reading. Whereas all people having weight less than 40 kgs or greater than 45 kgs will get actual reading of their weight. So these are the three types of drifts or shifts that can take place in an instrument. So that is all for today's lecture. See you in the next lecture video. Bye.